Did you know that you are gonna die? That's right, you, me, everyone. We're all gonna die. And yeah, we all know that. And some of us like to not think about it as much as others, and some of us try to embrace it before we have to, or before death just comes and takes us away. And there's a festival all about this called We're All Gonna Die Festival. This festival took place in Sydney, Australia in 2017. If you go to their website, it talked about its origins, what it was about. I think there were a few other festivals, but definitely I think the most prominent one was the one back in 2017 in Sydney, Australia. So the idea of the festival started with a filmmaker named Stefan Hunt.
This is Steph, a boy that grew up in the middle of New South Wales, Dubbo, which made him a country boy. Steph loved to surf and surf and surf. In fact, surfing is what shaped his career in early filmmaking.
3 years ago, I was terrified of the future, and just before I was 30, I was definitely at that point just there, that really low one, and that's what sparked this entire project. I went through some really bad anxiety, and I actually just found myself just completely freaking out about, the rest of this. As hard as I thought, I couldn't find one single guarantee. Along all of this, I couldn't figure anything out until one day I thought about this point just here, and I was like, wait a minute, there's fully a guarantee. I'm gonna cark it someday. I'm gonna die.
He had been making small films. He's best known for big commercials for big companies, but he was hit with this huge bout of anxiety, and he went out to the Spanish countryside and he mused about his life. And the one certainty that he discovered is that we're all gonna die. And he wanted to celebrate this by putting on a whole festival where other people can come and talk about death and process it in a healthy way with a community of other people. In order to promote this festival, he wanted to put on a Kickstarter. They raised over $37,000, which was over the benchmark, in order for people to come and participate. There were about 480 backers, and from the videos and the social media posts, there seems to have been a pretty decent turnout. Some of the activities that people partook in at the festival was eye gazing, where they sat two strangers in front of each other and you just stared at each other. They had a death meditation where people laid down on the ground and were led in a meditation about death. Another was a film festival, which is based off of a film made by Stefan of the same name, We're All Gonna Die, and it was a recitation of his book, but I'll get more into that in just a second. They had something called Bedroom Grooves, and in their own words, it was groove therapy, exploring the fear of judgment and the solace that we seek within the private spaces of our bedroom. Another thing that they did was they had everyone put together their worst fears, had something called a reality headset, another thing made by Stefan that just looks like a headset, but it just made of styrofoam or cardboard or something. Basically a commentary on the whole virtual reality doesn't tap us into our own reality and whatever. There was another activity where you could decorate your own tombstone. There was a presentation of a hearse with rainbow colors in the window. Now, that book that I had mentioned.
Story goes that Steph went on to get a publishing deal for a children's book for We're All Going to Die.
This is a suitcase full of sketches.
This is kind of the start of the whole idea that Stefan had. It started off with that poem that he wrote when he went to that Spanish countryside. He then turned it into a film, and then turned the idea into a festival. So this whole book is kind of the origins of the movement in the festival. And the whole poem is recited within the film, so if you want to hear the poem, you can go check it out.
And why not climb those mountains and stand proud on their peaks? The only air of doubt up there will toot from your butt cheeks.
It's for free on his website. I can't exactly pinpoint why I think what I'm about to say, but when I was researching about this festival, there's an air about the aesthetic of the festival or something, and Stefan in general that to me seems like unintentionally pretentious. And I think it feels so cringy because there's an attempt to not be pretentious. There's this attempt to be down to earth and kind of quirky and funny. But overall, his personality and the event to me feels pretentious, and I don't know why. I was going through the videos and I realized it looked like the majority of the people who went to the festival were young, which is fine, but like I feel like it kind of shows how it just didn't appeal to a universal audience, just like a specific demographic. And like I don't know any of these people personally, but they just looked to all be well off. I don't really know, but I guess there's just this sense of like young, rich millennials all getting together to talk about death just in sort of this way that feels kind of fake and in a way that's just kind of like showy. I don't really know if that makes sense, but I think that's kind of what I was touching on here when I said that. Like one example of that being the VR or the non-VR headset.
This thing right here is called the reality headset. I kind of got fed up with all this buzz around virtual reality, like VR, it's all the craze, but virtual never beats the real thing. The best thing about the reality headset is you can take it anywhere, hey? I can go to the beach, I can go into the bush, I can go into the shower. It's pretty great.
Like, I have a VR headset. I love this thing. I think you can totally enjoy your reality in the moment and also enjoy a virtual reality. I mean, this thing does so many cool things, right? Like, I can talk to strangers all around the world, and yes, I can do this on the computer or over the phone, but here I can, like, physically interact with them in environments that we share together. I can do whatever I want in this thing. And at the same time, I love reality. This is where all the people I love exist, and, you know, I think you can simultaneously enjoy both at the same time. And I guess it comes across to me as pretentious when someone goes out of their way to make an art piece about virtual reality bad. But I think it's also like the forced quirkiness of the whole project. I mean, maybe it's not forced. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the lack of self-awareness. I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me out in the comments. I'm really not sure. Now, the idea of the festival to me seems pretty cool. I am of the opinion that in the West, we are very disconnected from death. Anytime that we talk about it, it's seen as morbid or weird, or the only people who have to think about it are people who are going through illnesses like cancer or whatever. A lot of us think about death more than we actually talk about. So I'm glad that there's a festival promoting people to come together and healthily discuss it. We are all going to die, and I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't put some thought into it before you're forced to, or when you don't have any time to. And who knows, maybe if I had attended this festival, I would have really enjoyed it. I feel like if I would have put together a festival like this, it would have been kind of different. There was an emphasis on art in this festival, and that's really cool. They had gotten together with like other companies and things like that, and other art institutions to come together and make this festival. And, you know, I don't know. Personally, I would like a festival that like has an emphasis on like nature and like, yeah, meditation, but like and art, you know, but just like maybe lectures or something. I don't know. But I like the soul idea of it. And maybe I would have enjoyed the festival. Who knows? So what do you guys think of the festival idea overall? Does it sound like something you would enjoy or possibly attend? Or would you make your own festival and make it a little different? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you often think about death? Do you often wish other people would talk about death with you? I certainly do. So with that being said, I will sign off and say thank you for watching. So by the time that I upload this, I might have 1,000 subscribers. And if I do, I want to say thank you so much for all of y'all's support. I don't ask for subscriptions. I don't ask for likes on purpose. I want all of my engagement to be organic and self-motivated by people who come across my content. So anybody who willfully, in theory, willfully and voluntarily hit the subscription button, I want to say thank you. It helps show me engagement. Not only that, but now I'm like only a few hundred view hours away from monetizing my channel, which would be super cool to get paid for something that I enjoy doing. So any little support counts, even your views, and I really appreciate it. So see you guys next time.